on what is it that you were saying? Whatever we've shown so far, can in terms of our DFMA, the approach that we're taking, what are your thoughts of building 8 units and missing middle, basically?
Well, I mean, it's unbelievably impressive, the technology that's gone into this. That this like, just speaking from the city of Edmonton's point of view, their desire to densify and redevelop older areas is huge. Like, they are, what's the word I'm looking for? Encouraging it. Like when I talked to the planner on the phone a while back, and I said I wanted to do a fourplex, he said, no, you've got to think bigger. You've got to maximize what's there. Now, maximum for this particular lot is an 8plex, just because of the zoning restrictions there. But I mean, 8 is certainly generous enough, but there's other opportunities in different areas for even bigger builds.
Yeah. So as I shared with you, the DFMA, the approach that we're taking, let me just get there so that we're actually on the same page there. 1 second. It's sort of breaking down everything right up to the whole process, the logistics. Are you able to see this?
I've still got the screenshot of the lady that's doing her virtual reality tour.
Let me pause that for a second, and I'm gonna share entire screen. So now, if I come here, this is the DFMA.
Yeah, yes.
What do you think that Reboot Construction working with you on your 8plex as a prototype, as a ground scratch model, and applying all these DFMA concepts? What are your thoughts working with Reboot Construction on this?
Well, I think it's going to be an impressive partnership. The technology that you've displayed is unsurpassed that I've seen. And with your connections in regards to overseas product and stuff, I can see the cost per square foot being very reasonable.
Yeah. The whole idea is we really applying different checks and balances at the different stages of the construction phase. Not necessarily just doing, you hear these words thrown out there, wall panelization, modular, and all that stuff, but we're going beyond that. This is not just about panelization and modular. This is DFMA, design for manufacturing and assembly, and building your 8plex unit from ground scratch, putting all these principles of DFMA and the entire life cycle from concept to schematic design, detailed design, and construction, and being able to really hone in to the specificity level of creating a bill of material and understanding, what the land, what's the density we could utilize, adding all the components, showing you virtual reality tour of how the bedrooms, bathrooms will look like, being able to save you time so that you're not doing any mistakes, and then generating a bill of material right to the studs and all the pins and needles. And I wanted to show you about the Dark Knight that we already have. This is the specificity level that we're going to create the bill of material. What are your thoughts on this, the way all these details are laid out here?
Well, I think any investor would be impressed with the detail that's involved in this, Sanjay. It's amazing. I mean, from plumbing, electrical, the works, it's unbelievable. Like the detail is unsurpassed. I've never seen it like this.
And so you also do understand, right, Ken, this kind of level of detail is required for us to not have any mistakes along the life cycle of construction, the DFMA that we're trying to discuss. that level of nitty gritty is so required so that at different stages, even though if the budget even deviated, you have a clear understanding and reasoning why it deviated, and 80% is planning up front and 20% is execution. Basically, it's almost building a software product. That's what we're embarking together on this journey, Ken.
Yes, I agree. It's you're reducing your construction variables by planning it properly up front. And I mean, like you say, to the pins and needles. Like the detail is unbelievable.
Yeah. So as next steps, then, I think that we'll start getting into some contractual things, set the expectations with each other, the software, what would be needed, the cost, and then, I was looking at overseas also as a way to save cost, cut cost, and do this over and over again with you in the missing middle, whether it may be Calgary or Ontario. We want to make sure that we're really got the labor as well as the material costs completely locked down, so it's like a duplicate cookie cutter over and over again, basically.
Yeah, certainly. And I guess a question I've got in regards to appliances, you almost need that information up front in order
Yep.
to design around it. I'm sure you're aware of
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. So that's why I said this whole bill of material, this whole phase, the planning phase, is going to be super critical. While we might not see anything like coming out physically, but the entire planning phase of what material will go. And that's why we'd be using technology platforms like AutoCAD, digital twin like Tandem that I mentioned to you, LandLogic that will do generative design, optimization of all the different products, permutation combination, Cope.ai and things like that. There might be investments in those platforms. But once we've got it nailed, like to your point, that what manufacturer are we going to be using and how it will be executed to that extent, so that when some tradesperson comes, literally you could give it to a student to actually build it, and that's how you're going to reduce the cost, basically.
Yep. Great point.
Okay, so I'm going to sign out here. Thanks so much, Ken, for coming on this call, and we'll share it with our tradespeople, our conversation, and then let's start working on putting a proper contract together where we're mutually agreeing that it's a win-win for both parties here. Reboot Construction and your 8-plex unit, where you can create a cash cow and hopefully duplicate that and retire sooner than later.
I like that idea, Sanjay.
So I'm gonna pause here.